Right, shall we do it then?
Do we have to?
Do we have to?
Kellen Moore, turn it off if you're listening.
Say again.
Kellen Moore, turn off the podcast if you're listening.
But make sure you like and subscribe. Wow. The New Orleans Saints, they re-signed Chase Young. They brought in Justin Reed. They re-signed Juwan Johnson. Brought back Brandon Cooks after originally being drafted there. Brought in Julian Blackman. Brought in Dylan Radence. Bought in Cam Akers. Bought in Jonah Williams. I mean, not a terrible offseason by no stretch of the imagination. Paulson Adebo, they had to see go, though. He's gone to the New York Giants. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Will Harris. Willie Gay. Teno Passagnon has gone as well. They draft-wise, they had a lot of picks. They had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 picks in the end. They took Kelvin Banks, the offensive lineman out of Texas, at 9. They took Tyler Shook, the quarterback from Louisville, in the second round, which was a lot of eyebrow raised about that pick at the time. Vernon Broughton, defensive tackle from Texas. I felt like Adam spoke quite a lot in that last half of the pod there, of the bit with the Panthers there. So I'm going to let Sky start with the Saints, and also because you made 2 stupid jokes this podcast, so you have to suffer. So
I've got to try to talk about the Saints. Well,
why is it all because the quarterback is the problem? You know, Derek Carr's now retired, had to really medically retire, to be honest with you, this season, which is now meaning that Tyler Shook or Spencer Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback. We saw a lot of Spencer Rattler last year, and it was terrible. Is it just because of the quarterback, or is it the team in totality?
I just think the team is awful. I mean, poor Chris Olave. I mean, I hope that he obviously can stay healthy, but I mean, Derek Carr stitched him up on a couple of hospital passes. And obviously he's such a great receiver, but I'm just, the way that we worry about Tua and we don't want to see injuries on anyone. It's kind of where I'm at with Chris Olave now. He's had a couple of bad concussions. I mean, they've got Brandon Cooks back. I don't know if they thought Drew Brees was going to come back as well. And Jimmy Graham and Michael Thomas might turn up for 2 games, but yeah, he's back. And I love Brandon Cooks. But yeah, there's just a lot of missing pieces on both sides of the ball. Now, I did try and be a good person, guys, and try and think of one positive, right? So they got Kelvin Banks Jr., right? Left tackle, Fuaga can go to the right tackle now, his natural position. And they have got a nice thing there with 2 tackles. Not much going on elsewhere. But, it could happen. Although a lot of people do talk up the centre, McCoy, as well. So at least, look, I've created a positive. The O-line's got potential. But it just means if you can't run the ball and still can't throw it, I guess the O-line will just be blocking for ages. So, yeah, I don't know. And I do like Kellen Moore, when I've talked about the Cowboys in the past and what he did there as a coordinator. I just think that there's a lot of holes, and I was surprised he took the job. He clearly must have been told something that is not a given in modern coaching of sports, that he's got time. Why else would you have taken this job?
He's also brought in Brandon Staley, the former Chargers head coach, as defensive coordinator.
He looks like Barry Manilow. Sorry, I just always think that. Got a bit of a puppet look.
Brandon Staley looks like Barry Manilow.
I won't start singing Copacabana. Like in 30 years, look at Brandon Staley. It'll be Barry Manilow. If he did Tonight Matthew, I'm gonna be. He could do Copacabana, and then the Saints would turn their season around.
I do feel bad because me and you, Sky, attended the Super Bowl in New Orleans, and we had a tremendous time. It's a good city. It's a fun place, and they deserve to have a good team. They do deserve to have a good team because it is that sort of vibrant pace. But I mean, I do look at their offense, Adam, and it is just a quarterback away. I do think it is. I think their O-line's pretty strong. I think there's some good weapons. Olave, Brandon Cooks at the tail end. I don't mind Rashid Shaheed. He's not bad. Juwan Johnson's a decent tight end. Alvin Kamara, he's getting paid too much, but he's a good running back. It is a little bit, they're all a little bit over the hill is the problem. And there's a fitness issue. They are constantly injured. But this offense feels like, and this is going to be the narrative all season, and fine, I'm going to jump on the bandwagon because I don't care about your opinion. I'm just a podcaster, all right? Feels like it's being set up for a future quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I mean, that would make sense, yeah. But historically, I've completely forgotten the name of the GM. He's been there forever. What's his name? Mickey Loomis.
Good.
Mickey Loomis.
I thought it might take a bit longer, but
Mickey Loomis doesn't understand how to do a rebuild. So this, when people say that the cap doesn't exist, this is what happens when you think the cap doesn't exist. You end up with a team that is just void of any real significant talent. Also, I would come out and say they have drafted appallingly over the years. They really have. Chris Olave is the talent at wide receiver, but he just keeps getting injured and he keeps getting concussions. And unfortunately, we spoke about this in another episode with Tua. It's a little bit like it's becoming a similar thing with Chris Olave. It could entirely happen again. Brandon Cooks, Rashid Shaheed, they're both kind of the same player, really. They're sort of speedsters. There's nothing else, really, when it comes to that. Yes, Alvin Kamara is good. The whole offense is going to go through Alvin Kamara again. And Sky is right in the respect of the O-line actually does look semi-logical now and kind of a bit decent, so it's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, the problem with that theory of this, it looks like a team that's looking to go and get a quarterback in the future. Why did you spend a second round pick on a quarterback then? And an older quarterback coming out of college who's had loads of injuries. It's just it's an odd thing to do. And I think it's that thing where they were just a little bit like, we have to pretend that we're trying. But it's such a strange one. And yeah, I think this whole team is just a team that desperately needs a rebuild. But I mean, if Mickey Loomis is actually going to do it, that's a whole nother thing, because he won't do it. It's like the whole thing with Derek Carr was ridiculous. And it's like that was your opportunity to start doing it before you even brought Derek Carr in. And they just keep going down the rabbit hole. And it's like they're not gonna it just feels like they're never gonna sort themselves out. And that's the problem. But yeah, desperately need a rebuild, desperately need a new quarterback. And I wouldn't be shocked if they end up having the number 1 pick this year or 2026.
So Manning will be back at Texas. Sorry.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We've actually not really really spoke about what we're talking about, really, and that is the Arch Manning, part of the Manning family. Obviously, for new listeners, go check out Eli and Peyton Manning, legends of the game. For all the people who watch NFL all the time, you know who Arch Manning is, I'm sure. Quarterback at Texas. He can go back to college though. So if the Saints had the number
he will. I'll be surprised if he doesn't.
Because the only thing is everyone's saying is obviously his grandfather played for the Saints, didn't he? He was their star guy at one time, many years ago. So that's what everyone's really is thinking. But Arch is going to go in the draft. They're going to have number 1 pick. They're going to take Arch. And then it's going to roll from there. But yeah, that even when Arch gets there, they're in cap hell. And you know what? Cap hell's generous. There's if you got to cap hell and then kept digging for another 100 miles, that's where the Saints are with their cap. It is so bad, so poorly ran, and so ridiculous. Even last year when they gave Kamara that extension, everyone was looking around going, "What are you doing?" That was not clever. That was a stupid move. Kamara's a good player, but man, read the room around the league at the minute. People aren't paying running backs.
They don't have a choice. They almost have to keep going to a certain extent, because the problem is that if they literally just completely go, right, that's it, we're taking everyone out, they've got no team. Not of any quality. And although that might be the in one way, that's a good thing to do, because then you end up getting first, number one picks and stuff like that. The problem is that you don't get bums on seats. So it's almost like it's that really difficult sort of situation that they're in, where they kind of like, a lot of this stuff needed to change really, it needed to change when Drew Brees retired. And even then, you could argue that they pushed that on longer than what they should have done. But because it's Drew Brees, I understand why you've done it. But once he retired, that was the point that they needed to change things. And they just haven't done it. And now they're going to experience the pain of that, because it's going to take years for them to get back to having a team that is going to be, they're going to have enough cap and space in order to be able to do anything and really sort this out. Because as you say, you bring in a brand new quarterback, they've still got all the same problems. They've just got a brand new quarterback. So it's like, Archie Manning has come out and said that Arch isn't going to come out this in 2026 for whoever. And I think that probably says quite a lot. That historically they've always done 3 years, all of the Mannings. So they're not going to suddenly change for this just because the Saints are at the bottom of the pile. So yeah, I think this is it. They're going to have to be really bad in 2027 as well if they want him. Which, to be honest, considering the situation they've put themselves in, wouldn't actually be a surprise if they were bad for the next 2 years.